Before we're, before we induct our last artist tonight into the Hall of Fame, I just want to remind those concerned, we're making a change in the musical part of the evening after the induction. Rather than having everybody come on stage at the beginning of the show, we're going to have people come on one by one, and then at the very end there'll be some ensemble numbers at the end, and we'll have all the art. I'd like to invite all the artists on stage at the end, but not at the beginning. So keep that in mind. So anyway, okay. So Wilson Pickett, if you're there, we want you. Anyway, so the last inductee of tonight are the Byrds. Before the Byrds joined together in Los Angeles in 1964, they were all in their early 20s. Jim McGuinn, David Crosby, Chris Hillman, Gene Clark, and Michael Clark, and they had already demonstrated a deep and abiding love for folk and country music. McGuinn had been in the Limelighters and the Chad Mitchell Trio. Gene Clark had been in the New Christie Minstrels. And Hillman was in the Green Grass Group. After Gene Clark overheard McGuinn strumming a Beatles song at the Troubadour, the two began playing together, and then they found David Crosby at a hootenanny, and after Hillman and Mike Clark sat on, the Byrds were ready to fly. In those times, it was the year of the years of the British invasion. But on the strength of their gorgeous harmonies and McGuinn's ringing 12-string guitar, the Byrds reclaimed rock for America. The Byrds.
One person adds one thing, and then the next musician here's the chance to add something more, and after a little while, you get a lot of levels happening on records, and in a way, it's a very good thing because it gives you some place to grow with as you listen to the record. You hear more things each time, you know. The 10th or 20th time, there's still something new to listen to.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Byrds.
Gather round, people, wherever you roam. Admit that the waters around you have grown. Accept it that soon you'll be drenched to the bone. If your time to you is worth saving, and you better start swimming or you'll sink like a stone. For the times they are a-changing. I've got to say, I gotta say.
bird, the bird.
To induct the birds into the Hall of Fame, great pleasure, Don Henley.
Thank you. Well, it's been an interesting evening, hasn't it? As Dexter Gordon said, in around midnight, I'll have whatever he's having. This is the last one, so let's plow through this together, shall we? Back in 1957, a 10-year-old boy sat with his parents in Hirsch Memorial Coliseum in Shreveport, Louisiana, looking at a Lawrence Welk concert. The boy didn't care much for the music, but he sort of liked to watch the drummer, and in fact, he got the drummer's autograph after the show was over. The boy remembered seeing Lawrence Welk with a big smile on his face and a nun on each arm. The boy would take note of that for future reference. That doesn't have anything to do with this award, however. Except that about 8 years later, the boy was back in the same Coliseum, and he watched very attentively as 5 lanky young men with very tight pants and bangs that almost covered their eyes ambled out on stage and began to play. And the boy sat mesmerized as the chiming strains of Mr. Tambourine Man floated out through the auditorium. And he experienced new and unfamiliar feelings as they sang a song called "He Was a Friend of Mine" about the murder of President John F. Kennedy in Dallas, Texas. The ringing sound of the electric 12-string and the smooth, unusual harmonies, the thought-provoking lyrics, all this underscored by the rock and roll drumming and the tight bass guitar lines combined into something completely different. It was a sound that the boy had never heard before. It was distant, and yet it was familiar. And it struck a chord deep within him. This mysterious, charismatic band sounded British. They sounded American. They sounded like folk. That's folk. They sounded like rock. There were jazz and country influences and even classical influences. They sounded pretty and they sounded ominous. They sounded hard and yet they sounded soft and gentle sometimes. And woven throughout all this was a mystical quality that made the boy dream of faraway places and different kinds of people and a different kind of life. Unfortunately, the group only got through 3 or 4 numbers that evening before they were mobbed by teeny boppers and had to leave the stage. But nevertheless, the boy's life had been changed forever. He wore out 2 copies of Mr. Tambourine Man that year. He used to play "Don't Doubt Yourself, Babe" for his beautiful 15-year-old cheerleader girlfriend who sat and looked at him blankly like he had lost his mind. But he was trying to give her a message. And the boys, if you didn't know by now, was me, and the group was the Byrds. The year was 1965, and the course of American rock and roll had been changed, had been altered forever. The Beatles had invaded America. A man named Bob Dylan was writing music that was much more challenging and thought-provoking than popular songs had ever been up to that time. And there was now in the music something for the head as well as for the heart. And the Byrds were at the very center of this new movement. The Beatles had influenced them, and they in turn had fascinated the Beatles, and Dylan had inspired both groups. And we perhaps take it for granted now, but it was a wonderful, magical time. Music was playing, hair was growing. There were throngs of people in the streets, and the counterculture, which was the offspring of the Beat generation, was being born, and the ethereal, mystical sound of the Byrds washed over them, washed over an entire nation and on to Britain and other parts of Europe. And it was a wake-up call for a new generation and a new era in rock and roll. The Byrds not only pioneered folk rock, but they went on to pioneer something called country rock as well. But I wouldn't know anything about that. And just as an aside, I want to say that the mysticism and the transcendence and the peaceful spirituality and optimism of that kind of music is something that is sadly missing from the airwaves today. And in light of our present situation, we could really use some of it now. Nevertheless, they have left a rich and varied legacy, fortunately for all of us, and they continue to be productive today. And so it gives me extreme pleasure to welcome Monsieur McGuinn, Crosby, Hillman, Michael Clarke, and Gene Clark into the Hall of Fame, the Byrds.
Just like to thank you very much. When I was growing up in Chicago, listening to Elvis Presley on my transistor radio, I never dreamed I'd be in the same Hall of Fame that he is, and thank the Lord for it.
I'm a very happy guy. I feel a lot of gratitude. I have a lot of gratitude to these men who made it possible for me to make some of the best music of my life. And it occurs to me as I think about it that there are a lot of us, some of the best of us, who are not here and who will never make it here. And I'm incredibly grateful, after all the chances I've taken and all the trouble I've been through, to be here tonight to do this and still able to play this music. I thank you all.
Thank you. It's taken me so many years to realize how incredibly lucky I was to be a part of this group. And I was just a kid playing the mandolin in a bluegrass band in 1964, and I got asked to join. I treasure every moment working with these guys, the good and the bad. It was a wonderful time, you know, and I love all you guys, I really do. And it's such an honor to be in this Hall of Fame with all of the heroes, all the people that influenced me, and I thank you for keeping the Byrds' legacy alive. Thank you.
I think really, for myself, gratitude is the main thing. I got to be really thankful for all the people in my life that have supported me through the years, through my good and my bad, and especially my brothers here on stage with me, who I've enjoyed playing with more than anybody else in the whole world, and especially to my beautiful lady, Terry, who has been the most support to me in my whole life. Thank you all very much, and I'm proud to be here.
I'd like to say that I appreciate the fact that I'm in here at all. You know, for God's sake, I was just a bongo player on the beach at one point in life, right? So now, what am I? I am a Rock and Roll Hall of Famer. Well, thank you all, and I appreciate it, and thanks, Mom. And hello to all of Gulfport, and hi, baby. Bye.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the traditional Rock and Roll Hall of Fame jam session. And this year, since we have them all on stage already, we thought we would try to accomplish a bona fide Byrds reunion. So let's see what happens.
Why not? Why not?
Every day, turn,
then I think we're all in big trouble. But what the hell? It's only rock and roll, right?
joining me on that Birds reunion. Thank you, Mike.